and get this party started. All right, what up, guys? It's the PokerCoaching QA. This is not an April Fool's joke. Crazy Sixes is in Ireland this week, so you guys are stuck with me. So if you guys all want to like disconnect now, I understand. So because you want to make sure you get your money's worth. So anyways, what I thought we would look at today was a spot that I was in recently where it was giving me a lot of trouble. And I even had the big stack. And what it was this was on the money bubble. And then there was a few spots at the final table as well when I was in the small blind and I wasn't sure how to react against opens from, it was the button in the box, basically the button, hijack, and no jack, but really anywhere at the table when you're in the small blind, when there's ICM pressure involved. So selfishly, I thought we would look at that today because I was having some struggles in some spots there. And I also figured if, I wasn't sure what to do, and then you guys most certainly might be having the same struggles as well. So that was my thoughts. Any questions, comments, concerns on any of that? People are still strolling in here. All right, I'm gonna take silence as golden. Fix my glasses here real quick. So cool. What I thought we would do first is on the screen right here is a bunch of different like setups with ICM. I have it set on Pre-Flop Academy with all different versions of ICM, final table. Oh, this one's final table. I have the drill set up here, small blind against the whole table with a bunch of different ICM options. So what I thought we would do is we would kind of just take a look at like, I don't know, 4 or 5 different configurations here and just kind of get an idea of what small blind's range is looking like. Versus a handful of opens, just kind of see what the base strategy should be. And then we'll come over here and we'll drill it for a while and take turns in the trainer. We'll look here at the final table. I'll change this to some of the other ICM situations, and we'll go from there. Cool. Let's see here. I don't want to be too short. All right, so we are going to be in the small blind for these versus RFI, and we'll start against early position and kind of go from there. So I mean, right away, you guys can see just tight as all ever living shit versus the early open at the final table. Some folds that are certainly counterintuitive, like all the suited paint.
That's the 12 big blind jam. The top one.
What? Oh, good call. So even so, versus the short shove, still folding things like ace jack, folding 9s and 8s and 7s. I think a lot of the public are calling with this stuff in here. Thanks for the catch. Small blind versus early position open. I mean, still super tight. Snap folding ace jack. And then look at the flatting range that does not exist. I'd say it's pretty fair to like take ace jack out of flats and just kind of put that more into the jam and or raise category and kind of like full frequency jam this stuff since it's mostly jamming, and then take all these raises and put it in ace jack basically. I think that's a good way to make this more implementable versus remembering that the ace jack is an island, and probably just folding these two. You can do that too, or you can just take all these jams here and kind of put them in ace jack and ace 10 instead of just remembering the jam 5s and 6s and 7s, 8s, and 9s. Anybody guess why we're jamming 5s and 6s and folding 7, 8s, and 9s? Crickets. No one has any ideas?
Hey, I would guess that with 6s and 5s. Let me see. I think it has something to do with the ace. I think with the 5s that has something to do with the EP is jamming ace five suited sometimes. So
Yeah,
when they
okay.
raise, they're less likely to have a five in it. So when we jam fives and we fold sevens, when we have fives in our hand, it's less likely they have ace five suited and they have a different type of ace suit, so like ace seven suited. But when we have sevens,
We blocked bottom of the range. Yeah, I think you got it. But in a nutshell, I think you got it. I think Puck's got it too. Basically, like they're gonna have things like the suited aces, like you mentioned. Well, they are also like if we have sevens, eights, and nines, that's the pairs that are opening that are gonna fold. When we start to jam the 24 bigs, right? And if we have sevens, eights, and nines, they can't have sevens, eights, and nines as well as the suited aces. So basically, it blocks the bottom of the folding range. So if you want to get really nerdy with it, that's the reason why. But I also think it's really hard to implement and kind of remember some of this stuff in game. But that's why these are island jams. This is kind of worthless. Cool. Let's pick it up now. So this was where we had like 24 bigs. This is where everyone's kind of deeper stacked. So small blind versus early position on a deeper stack. Make sure. This versus a 12 blind jam. Early position. Correct me if I'm wrong. This is versus an early position open, not jam, right? There, 12 blind early position RFI. 40 big small blind versus RFI from early position. So there you go. I'll tell you right now too, like I'm super tight here for my range. Like I'm missing a lot of this stuff here. Because my ICM strategy as a whole is I like to do stuff with the blockers. I'm hitting all of this stuff for sure. And then I fold a lot of these pairs that don't flop very well, in particular and out of position. But we're deep enough where we can start to put pressure on, it looks like. So I would miss these for sure. For sure, for sure, for sure. Oh, one thing I didn't do in the last one, let's change it to middle position, see how that changes. We didn't look at that last time. This is the middle position RFI range. And then this is our defense against that range. And again, I'll tell you right now, like I'm missing a lot of this stuff in here in my range. A lot of these flats I'm missing.
I'm surprised it's that wide, given the ICM pressure on both of us.
Yeah, with the risk premium, if it's big stack on big stack, risk premium is gonna be about 25%. If you guys aren't familiar with risk premium, when there's ICM involved, but risk premium, bubble factor, it's all the same thing. And that like when it's small stack on big stack, the risk premium is only usually about 5% or so, which means you just have to be 5% tighter than you normally would be. But when it's big stack on big stack, the risk of ruin is so great, and the chance of you getting ladders is so great that the risk premium goes up to 25%, in which case you start folding, making crazy folds. That's when we see like things like the king, queen, O getting folded and things like that in some of these spots where the risk premium is so big. So yeah, I'm surprised we're flatting this much as well, especially this stuff here that's going to be dominated. So yeah, I'm definitely too tight right now. Definitely. Gets the low jack positions a little wider. It's interesting how the strategy changes quite a bit. So when it's early position and middle position, we have more flats in general in our range because their range is condensed. So we want to see boards. We don't have as much fold equity, but as the positions get deeper, the flats come out and now we get to put ICM pressure on them, which is pretty amazing. This is more of the range I would expect to have seen in the last spot, to be honest. Again, versus hijack, the later the position, no more flatting. Look at all these jams. Who's hitting these jams? Shit. Gets an 18 blind open. Shit. Never. Never for me.
Yeah, I'm never doing that.
You're gonna see that this is a common thing.
So
The weaker suited kings, the kings with the like the low little dingleberry kicker there. It's because we block the top of the range and the bottom of the range. So these blockers, this is a common thing.
Okay, I
so-
was about to ask you why that was common, but you just explained it.
Yep. What's up, Joe? How you doing, man? All right, cool. Versus cutoff. Flats start to come back. Pretty interesting. Pretty tough chart to implement. And then versus the button, this is
I
what I was.
don't know why there's more flat against button and cutoff than hijack.
Yeah, I don't know why either, if I'm honest. I mean, it's gonna have to do with range construction for sure, and blocker effect and all that kind of stuff, but I imagine just looking at it, like we don't 3-bet the nines because it is kind of the bottom of their opening range. And so we're blocking the bottom of the opening range, so we flat it more. And these hands flop well, they'll hit straights and flushes and good flushes. That'd be my guess. Because when we start to raise more, then we start to push out all of this stuff. And it just condenses the range to only the strong stuff that continues. That'd be my guess. It might be the stack size as well, that's true, because things are weird. This is versus a 32 blind open.
You call the middle pair, you call the suited ace and all the nines.
Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah, against 30 blind open. I would be folding all this right here, for sure. And then this stuff I would be conflicted, mark and review later, and then realize I'm probably a little too tight here with like queen nine suited. For sure. All right, cool. It's a pretty tough strategy, man. Let's take a quick look at, let's do final few tables. And then we'll jump into like trainer. This is where everyone's kind of deep stack. Small blind versus R5. Early position. So a lot of flatting versus early position stuff. I'd be missing all of this. It's good that we're looking at this because I am certainly griefing the shit out of this spot myself. Oh, this would be folds. And then like this would all be raisings. I'd probably be raising this too. Yeah, and these are kind of speckles and weird. These are gonna be tough to find. Again, they're islands, pucks. So I would take this frequency and kind of move it over into this over here, probably, and this over here, and kind of fill these gaps. over here.
So those island hands, it's the same concept as the kings with the bad kickers that we talked about previously.
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
And also, like, you want to make these charts implementable, right? So when you're looking at a chart like this, it's kind of weird. It's easy to say, okay, we flat all our pairs, we flat a lot of the suited connectors, we flat all our suited paint, and then raise a lot of the ace X and the top of range, right? Pretty easy
Yeah.
to conceptualize that. But then if you're going to try to throw in like, oh, I could mix 50-50 with some of these dingles here, and I got you're never going to remember this stuff. Like, it's just, there's too many charts, right? So to make this more implementable, I'll just say that I'll take these raises out, say I'm full frequency raising king jack and queen jack, and then the percentages are kind of the same. The blocker effect isn't quite as good, but still the percentages are about the same. And the other thing too is like your opponents are not playing anywhere near the right ranges. Like I guarantee you early position is still opening, some ace 9-0, and they're gonna be opening some of these pairs a lot, maybe even some queen jack. And so their ranges are gonna be slightly different as well, right? Because nobody's setting the shit. I think in my experience, I think right now the two most either unsolved or unstudied spots, in my opinion, right now are ICM and multi-way. Multi-way because the solver, a lot of people just don't have the solver. There's not a lot of great ones that exist outside of simple three-way and probably bunker. I'm not sure about how HRC beta is on that subject. You guys would have to let me know on that. I haven't really thought too much.
Doesn't GTO Wizard have multi-way or not?
GTO Wizard has pre-flop multi-way, but it does
Okay.
not have post-flop multi-way.
Okay.
And most people when you start, adding up the cost of Preflop Academy and GTO Wizard and Pio and all the computer needs you need for Pio and Simple Three-Way and ICMizer and Poker Coaching subscription, like, you know, all that shit starts to get really expensive and starts to push out, you know, the people who either don't have the bankroll or don't want to put in that kind of time and effort, right? So those are still really unsolved. And then ICM, I don't think people are just, I think they're still ignorant to it in a lot of ways, right? Like people have heard the term, but they don't realize how much it affects you. There are some people that believe, I just saw some sort of meme that said ICM is for poor people, which I thought was hysterical.
Yeah, that's been a big thing for the US Poker Open because Nacho Barbera said that ICM's for poor people when he was playing the final table, and he made like 4 final tables in a row.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's cool to make the final table and all that. And it's also, you know, some of those players are good at flipping it, right? If they know that I'm an ICM heavy believer, they can put a lot of extra pressure on me and be wider because they know I'm going to make more folds than the people who are just going to play standard GTO ranges, right?
Right.
Chip BB ranges. So, you know, you got to deal with that for sure. I mean, I don't know how many times at a final table I've seen like, you know, big stack, you know, 1 stack versus 2 stack, and the chip leader opens pocket 8s and the second stack rejams 30 bigs with ace jack O, and the chip leader calls with the 8s, and both made pretty massive ICM punts. And you see that shit every day at every final table.
Yeah.
Fucking ever. Right. And so I think it's okay to be a little, I mean, listen, I'm way too tight here. I'm not flatting like pretty much this whole chunk here, which is probably
Yeah.
too much. But I also think there is some value in being in overfolding, because these people are going to punt and you're going to ladder really easily. You know, and if you get to top 3 or so with 15 bigs, top 4 with 15 big, you're gonna have to make some moves. You can't get even live. You know, there's always a balancing act. But you know, you get to top 2 or 3 with like or top 3 or 4 rather with 15 bigs, and you have a great shot. You know, 1 double up, and you can make a run for it. It's pretty
That's
easy.
how I made it so far last night. There was a lot of people at the final table that were just punting. I mean, crazy stuff
Yeah.
that you would never, ever want to punt with. And people were just getting knocked out left and right. And I was playing the really strong hands, and I just kept gaining more and more chips.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. No jams on the bubble. Yeah. That's because the risk of ruin is so great, and the ROI, your biggest ROI is from 0 to whatever min cash is, because you go from broke and sad to a little bit of cheddar, and you can go buy a beer or whatever, right? So there's a huge value in the beer effect, right? You'll see that a lot at the bubbles. You see that a lot at the final table. You see a lot more jamming because you can push the pull that, but here the risk is too great.
Yeah.
You don't have any investment nested, for lack of a better term. All right, cool. So we're gonna speed run this because we need to start training some spots. That's the fun stuff. No jams versus early position. Also, like, look how fucking tight the range is, Jeremy. In that, like, when we jam, all this folds, right? All this folds, and then you're only getting called by the fucking super arrow, right? It's just horrendous. You're never in good shape when called. Ever. Middle position. Middle position, we start to see a lot more jams. Oh, that's because of the 6 blind jam. This one's a worthless chart. This is 40 bigs. So I'm on R5. This is an all-in from the low jack. We don't want to see that. This is versus an open. Oh, fuck. They only have 12 bigs here, too. That's the downside to ICM charts. Like, it's cool. You want to see the asymmetric stuff because that's more realistic to the situations you're going to find yourself in. It's not going to be everyone has 20 bigs, right? But at the same time, like, it's so hard to get charts that are like, you know, I just want to know what my 40 blind open is or whatever. Like, there's so much involved. It's hard to find some charts for some spots sometimes. So this 32 bigs open. There it is. No all-ins and flats because the stack sizes are reasonable. And this is where Yeah, you have a major risk premium. I'm certainly missing. Again, like this whole chunk comes out of my range. Too much. Too much. Same thing, no jams on the bubble. A little bit with the ace blocker. Again with the ace blocker, that's the big one. There's your value hands. These are blocker by 2 bluffs. What's interesting here is how much more bluff jams we have, because these are definitely bluffs versus value. All right, real quickly, we'll go to like 25% of the field and then we'll wrap it. Let's look at something like the position. So 25% of the field, I believe, is 17% of the field, I think, is the final 3 tables, if I remember correctly. Right? And 25% of the field is usually 5 out of the money. Any of you PFA nerds? Correct me if I'm wrong. Don't be ashamed if you're a PFA nerd. PFA nerd is a good thing. 17.5 is the money bubble, and this is like 20 or so out of the money or something. Pucks. Oh, 70% is final table bubble. Ooh. 70% is money bubble. 25% is money bubble. You contradicted yourself there, Pucks. Depends on a bit sure.
It's 15% paid is how they do it. The 25% is you're getting closer.
Yeah, so that's just out of the money. And 70% is like 5 out of the money, that means. You're right. Correct. Good call. Actually, I didn't even think about doing the math that way. You, sir, get a gold star today. You were a genius and a scholar. That is absolutely true. So like 20 out. Yeah. Cool. Early position. Again, no jams. A little bit of flatten. I probably missed a lot of these.
Jam
Good.
king queens only.
Kick, yeah, the island jam, right? Block kings, block queens, block ace king, block ace queen. F them. You're probably better off just making that with that. Usually, that's funny too, because usually king queen suited is one of those hands that's so good that it does more flatting and more 3-bet non-jamming. Right? Turn your hand face up. That's true. This guy's RTAing Ashes, like he only has king queen in his range. That's funny. Again, like it was flattening. Not flat enough for me. I definitely find these flats. These are the ones that I'm always like, fuck, are these jams? Nope. No jams. No jams versus the low jack. Look at this on the bubble. No jams. It's a good catch there, Pucks. You got it. You definitely saw the pattern there. For sure. Hijack's got a wider range. Fuck them. Now we got the jams with the paint. So there's this early and middle position. We got to be real careful. Later position, we can start the jam because they're gonna have wide range.
You don't play the suited connector that are not Broadway.
Right. Those things go way down in value. Usually the pairs go down in value too. So I'm surprised to see so much flattening of the pairs.
But 32 big blind, it's still playable to play a pair. Don't need
yeah.
as much implied on.
The chance of going broke is pretty slim with one of his hands without hitting a set, right? Absolutely. This is versus button jam. This is versus the RFI. Seems pretty natural, actually.
I'm surprised that we play less in against the button than
This can do is stacked up. They have 18 bigs in this scenario. Right, where the cutoff had 42 bigs. So the ranges are much different. Cool. All right. I think that's enough nerding out on charts. That's the fucking slow, sleepy shit that I was like, God damn it, sixes. Can we get away from the charts? So now that I'm feeling that way about myself, let's get to the trainer. This is all of the I have it set so that it's all of the different ICM situations. No tip BB. So there's always going to be some sort of ICM here. But I got this one's 50%. So make sure you're kind of paying attention. There's gonna be 15, there's gonna be 17, there's gonna be 25, there's gonna be final table. And I also got it versus opens from everywhere. So we gotta have the court awareness today. 60 goes 5 hands per. We can do that. That's cool with me. And then I'm gonna draw some people from the crowd. Cool. All right, cool. So I think multinashes, you jumped into my brain first because I heard your voice today. You want to take this one? You out there?
Hello?
Yeah, I hear you. You hear me? Jazz, I hear you.
Okay, my internet just went, okay,
Oh, you see that? He's shook.
yeah, everything live. Okay, so, for this hand, king 10 off, I'm gonna fold this one. I
This is a
think,
weird one. We didn't look
But-
too much about what we do with the short stack in these spots. So you kind of got hit with one that we're kind of looking go blind.
well, well, this one's against hijack. Yeah, with ICM, I'm gonna fold this one. Even though it's only 50%, I think it's enough for this goes into a fold.
Folding. Anybody else folding? Type in chat. Jump on your mic right now. It's open.
Oh,
Anybody
it's
else
all in.
folding? All in. Such jam.
Yeah,
That's not a
I'd be
surprise.
folding this here. Now
That's
suited,
fine.
maybe call.
Suited, I'm jamming this for sure, but
Ah, look at this. Mike says no ICM jams. No jams on the bubble is what he's saying.
Yeah,
did
that's
see
why I
that.
said
Did see that.
suited I'd call, off suited I'd fold.
This is a weird one here, because while I agree there was no flatting, I'm sorry, there was no jamming on the bubble versus
This is
these
ICM
early opens. This is ICM. About half the field is gone. About 70.
I think
don't know.
it's gone because there's no NT in the middle.
This is a little bit of a late enough position where this might be a jam on 12.
I think it's a jump if there's NT in the middle, like I said.
Mhm.
But most of the tournament I play, it's always with NT. So
Cool. Let's find out. Multiple, mostly fold, mostly fold. But look, a lot of jamming.
You jam every pair.
Lot of jamming. Yeah, those are natural, I think. The suited paint, pretty natural. The suited aces are ones that we've been looking at for a few weeks with sixes and stuff. These feel more natural. These feel pretty natural. Nothing here seems unusual. The most unusual thing here is the flats, right? Like 12 bigs and flatting with your suited nines. The fuck you say?
Yeah, I'm never finding that king 9, king 8, queen 9, jack 9 flat.
Howdy. This is ICM, 50% ICM. There's a little bit of ICM here. Now, you know, it's a sliding scale, right? With half the field gone, there is some ICM and you need to be ICM aware in this spot. However, there's more ICM as you know we get closer to the final table, obviously, or closer to the money level as well. A lot of jamming though, Mike. Just not this one. Cool.
just all in.
all in.
Wait, we'll find our table. How, okay, there's no ultra short stock, then I won't, yeah, just all in.
Alright.
Nobody flatting. I'll tell you this: if you had like 20 bigs, you should 100% flat and never jam.
Yeah, if we had 20 bigs, I would flat this, for sure.
This is
But
like
if we
leading
call, we have
4.5.
left with 4.5, and
Yeah.
there's no one like
And
who's
with
one
this
big
hand,
blind.
it's not like well, the good thing about calling, yeah, Danny, like I was about to go here, like The good thing about calling here is that we get the illusion that we're folding to this jam, which with this hand, which we will be a lot. Like if you have ace king here, it's better to flat and then fold if this guy comes over the top. You have ace queen here, it's better to flat and then fold if this guy comes over the top. Reason being is because with a big jam and then you're effectively 12 bigs like behind. If this guy jams, like he's only got ace, king, aces, kings, and queens.
Oh, I see. I see.
But
Right.
if he's calling 80, you can full 4 big blind with 12 behind.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
At the
yeah,
final
the-
table.
Yeah, man, you already put 8. And sure, I don't fold.
Yeah, if you have like nines here, I'm pretty sure nines are going to be played here, right? If you have nines, better to call and then fold if this guy jams for sure. And take that ladder because their range is going to be so condensed, especially because like this is a third of their stack with the risk of half their stack, right? Like they're going to be so fucking tight here. There's no bluffs. Zero bluffs. It's all super top of range. So I wonder if call is the thing here. I don't hate a call. I mean, with this hand, we're calling to never fold, and we don't really give a fuck what the flop is, right, Mike? And the odds of you calling here, this guy calling for a third of his stack, and then the flop coming down ace or king high is pretty dusty slim, right? You don't really have to worry about that. So I can see call being a thing here with the intention of never folding. Well, I think he said jam though. We're gonna go with jam.
I said jam.
Yeah.
I
I don't think calling in this range is a bad thing. I really don't. I wish we could see what this guy's squeezing range is, but it's not available. Weird one.
Maybe
Oh.
you should try it.
Whoa,
Not so weird.
okay. Yeah, 6.5 bigs at this point is just up to 5.5. So even if we have really good pot odds, actually, this might be.
I think.
Yeah,
it's
my
a-
instinct is to fold this even with the amazing pot odds, just because
Oh,
of how severe ICM is.
It's a call.
So it's not shook. Danny calling. What's
I call.
somebody doing?
I would call here.
Julian calling.
It's
That says I think we
5.5.
Have to call.
Because hijack is going to be ultra tight here because we have EP at 12, MT 16, L Jack at 8, button at 15. If we call and lose,
You're hosed.
I think I don't think hijack has 9s here, so we're always dominated. Like
Yeah,
best case
like-
scenario, we're 30%.
You could have kings, you can.
The only good thing is if you do lose, at least you got a couple of big bonds left.
I mean, yeah, but you can also fold here and have 20 bigs left, right? Like, fuck. So, like, I'll tell you this. If you're playing in game and this happens, fucking fold because no one's got a light 4-bet. And this is like top of range, like a here, I'm really not sure. There's a lot of good arguments with 5.5. Being such a small portion, such a small raise. Let's see what the jamming range looks like. I mean, look at the jamming
Yeah.
range. It's all got its uber crush. There ain't a bluff in here. Oh, you better pray for the sliver of eights. You better pray for the
Yeah,
sliver of eights.
yeah. The stakes that I'm playing,
Which is
Still a
crazy, though.
call.
Look at this range though. Like, fuck this range. Like, this is a ridiculous chart.
oh, it was a call. Would you look at that?
Yeah, but fuck this call. Like, honestly, this chart seems crazy to me because I would say these calls look absurd and these folds look absurd.
Right. And I'm starting to notice that with some of these solvers. It's kind of like, it makes you wonder, okay, what's going on here?
I mean, again, like, look at his fucking jamming range.
Right. So
The good thing about this is that we block some of this. Actually, it's
probably
bad.
how you get
It's
that.
bad that we blocked some of this because that puts them more in this range.
Right.
I think, do
We're
we
fighting the
want
border.
rather be against queens, or would we rather be up against like ace jack suited here? I don't know,
Queens.
because we're dominated either way.
Yeah, but with queens, at least you have an over. I'm sorry, with against queens, at least you have an over. When you have ace jack,
Yeah, so if we
10,
block the ace, and they're more likely to have a queens. I think that's a good thing.
Believe it or not, I played one
Yeah, that's
last
true.
night.
That's true. Yeah,
At the final table, the guy had kings and I had ace jack. I hit trip aces and he hit trip kings and I
Ooh.
beat him.
yeah, this call seems fucking absurd to me. Wow. It's one of those spots where you're like, well, I'm priced in, and so now I got to make this call with the hand that's a minus equity call. I would also argue like maybe don't 3-bet the ace 10, but it's on the charts, right? So it's hard to argue.
I would. So I know we probably
but-
have some small raises here, even with 4 bigs because of the final table. But I think jack is one of the hands where we might just want to rather jam.
Yeah, this one's
I think queen.
Yeah, this is a
calling,
jam for
but,
sure.
This got to be a jam.
That's a go. That's a jam.
Oh, it's got some.
Definitely
It's
jam.
got. Look at this. Look at this. 3-bet no jam. You were right. Molten ashes. Look at the aces and kings never jamming on 12. And the cool thing about if you're following this strategy, the cool thing is a lot of people are going to tell you, oh, when you 3-bet on 12 bigs, like it's only aces and kings. But we can see that if you're doing a balanced range, this is really balanced.
Yeah.
This is really balanced.
So why are the aces and the kings not jamming?
Because
Better to slow play.
yeah, you don't want to get folds. So you'll see that
Gotcha.
a lot too. Like people have said, turn your hand face up, but my argument is that people aren't paying attention and they're multi-tabling and they're just generally bad. So, like for me, like if I'm on 30 bigs, and like there's an open, like I'm jamming ace king pretty close to 100% of the time.
Right.
But if I have aces or kings, I'm always going to 3-bet. They open to 2 bigs, I'm going to 3-bet to 5 bigs, like exclusively.
Okay.
Because I want to get called in those spots. Right. With
Right,
the ace
yeah,
king, we can run it. I don't mind running the ace king, but I really don't want to see a flop, c-bet get floated, and then have a whiff turn and now
Yeah.
be in Nowheresville and take my 30 bigs down to 18 or something.
Okay.
So those hands are so strong you want to get called. Yeah. And you usually do that with like ace king suited as well. You don't really jam that one as much. That's a general statement for those spots. Good amount of raise though. How many is that? 4. 2 more. Some BBB
Would-
action.
BBB with king 9 suited.
It's a raise.
Jam, says Danny.
Holy
40
cow.
bigs. You
I
don't
was
give
about
a
to say
fuck.
40 bigs. Jesus.
Okay, I have to think about this one for a bit.
Go for it.
3.5.
So my instinct is king 9 suited. We don't want to blow up the pot, and king 9 suited has good playability, so I think we can limp call. The bigger the pot is, the better it is for button who's not in the hand.
Hmm.
So I would rather keep the pot as small as possible
Mhm.
at this point in age. So therefore, I would rather love this particular
Interesting that
hand.
these are symmetric stacks too, not asymmetric.
Yeah,
Mike says he doesn't think, he could be wrong, but he doesn't think there's any limps here. BBB at 40, there's gotta be some limps.
I was
no?
going to say at 40, I could see doing the limp.
Like, are you just raising all your pairs and every ace X? You're not limping any ace X? Things like this or king 7 suited, like that kind of stuff. Could be, you could be right, Mike. I mean, to be fair, like I picked this spot because it was hard and there are positions here that I'm not 100% sure on, which is why we're looking at it today. So yeah, I mean, you could be right. I think that there are going to be limps here, I think, but this hand is pretty hard strong. Might raise this one for value. I know we raised like the big card, middle card, offsuit ones for value. I'm sorry, Blind versus blind a lot, and that's in chip BB. Interesting. I would probably mix here myself. Let's find out. Mostly call.
Yeah, good limp. Good
So
limp.
you had it backwards there, Mike. Like, look, ace is limping, king is limping. Holy shit! Who's doing that? Who's got these limps? Don't lie. You're all lying.
Not
one's got-
me.
no one's got these limps.
I mean, honestly, I do have some aces lumps too.
At
Was-
40?
Well,
don't.
maybe not 40,
Yeah,
But I
40 seems
realize
so
that-
deep.
but I mean, you're limping quite a lot now because of how much you want to keep the pot small. So you probably want to balance that range.
I'm not sure about money bubble.
It's going to be much different for the bubble.
That's this one. Small blind versus the big blind, R5. And we'll do something like. Just stacks are kind of beefy. Okay, there's a lot of limps there. Like I was saying, like king 7 suited, right? And then look, this is like a chip. This is a lot like a chip BB model where you're raising your suited junk. You're raising those middling, top tier, middle code stuff a lot. Like this is pretty close to chip BB. Cool. Should have got to take that, but I'm listening to you, multinational. Go ahead.
Okay, so this one,
Hey, what's up? No.
okay, cutoff's 36. So yeah, not much. I'm going to on the money bubble when this isn't 50%, this is 50%, not much.
Right.
Okay, I think this is a good hand to squeeze. It might be tad too loose, but I still like it.
My only problem is that I'm gonna be in Montana, and then we have no coverage for now.
What about fighting though?
I leave on the 12th. I come back on the 19th. What date is that? Oh, cool. So then this is on the 18th. So yeah, we can send you. I'm down. You want to go? I'll know more about what I'm gonna know more about booking tomorrow. There's a meeting tomorrow about the UPS side of it. So I'll know more tomorrow and I'll add you to the meeting. Cool, cool. Cool. Sure. Yeah. Swap the drive. Forever clinic. Saw something about Abel saying typo and all that. Okay. Okay. They want copper uplinks? They want copper uplinks? Okay, that's copper uplink. Sure. Yep. Yep. Okay. Okay. Yep. Yeah, that's their deal. Cool. No, cool. That's their deal. I'm with you. Yep. In the bin. No, that's your job. If you guys want to leave it, you can leave it in like a box, you know, like you get the boxes, because we don't use it as much, but I got lengths that can cover, you know, so we can cover all this different shit, right? Yeah. Yeah. You can put it in boxes if you want. And then we can figure out like maybe ordering some more bins. I don't know if we can fit more bins though. Yeah, it's a pretty big ball. That's why we should make our own cable. Yep. Okay. Cool. Sounds good now. Okay. Oh shit, I wasn't muted. Sorry, guys. I didn't realize you had to listen to all that.
Oh god, no worries, no worries.
I thought I hit the mute button. Sorry, that was my day job. Apologize. We can edit that out of the recording. It's cool. All right, so what are we doing here?
So I said raise, but see this could be also be a call. I will raise in this spot.
And never fear, Joey's here. So we're in a good spot here. Probably wouldn't squeeze into two ranges since so some dude races Danny, some dude calling. And I think I am pretty caught up in the chat. Yeah, we're a small blind, Joey. We're gonna be in small blind the whole time. Small blind with ICM is basically what we're standing there.
I'm gonna say call here.
Oh, is this what ICM is this then? Sorry, I
half
just
field
got here
gone.
too.
What's
Half
up?
field?
Yeah, so there's some ICM.
Ew.
It's less ICM. It's the least ICM in the drills today.
I guess we call like. I wouldn't hate folding either.
I'd be honest with you, in a game like I fold this spot a lot with the. I don't know if I do it here as much, but like when there's like final table or final three tables or money bubble, I fold this a lot.
Yeah.
Here, I'm not sure. I feel like squeeze has some merit. The only issue with squeeze is that we're squeezing an early position open, which is a condensed range.
Yeah.
Which leads me toward flat.
And you're gonna get stuck calling it off because you're gonna be SPR'd when he jams.
Yeah, you're gonna be
You
committed.
can't fold. Like
Yeah.
that sucks too, because he only has 20 bigs.
I like that term. I'm gonna give you a little bit of shit, Matt. I like that term SBR.
I think
It might call this then and squeeze
Never
queen
heard
jack
that one
suited
before.
then.
Yeah, I think we probably call Queen Jackson.
I think the suited tens might get added here against the EP.
Let's find out. Ask you said to call, right?
I said raise initially,
You
so
said raise
I'll
initially.
stick with raise. Yeah, I said raise initially.
Ooh,
Oh, wow.
squeeze
Okay,
there.
it is.
We're squeezing.
So squeezing. So,
Never
Same range.
folding,
Never
never
folding.
folding.
Never folding. I wouldn't fold here with half the field gone, but not enough squeezing. For
Checked in, pure call, okay.
You guys rule. You guys rule. Yeah, pretty small raise there, Danny. Absolutely. It's not even 4x. I'm sorry. It's only a little over 4x. Not a full 6. I actually think it's a little small, right, Jim? Because like we would normally go 4x from the small blind. Plus 1x for the limper would make it 6.
Oh, because then you can get away from it, right? If he
Mhm.
does jam, you can
5x, not 5 big blind.
Yeah, yeah.
5x.
So 10 big blind.
Normally we would go 4x, right, from the small blind because we're out of position.
Oh,
Right.
right. Sorry. I
Plus 1x for the caller, which would be 5x. You're right. You're right.
It's the same.
My math sucks. You're right. Awesome. New contestant. Let's see here. Danny, you want to do it? I don't know if you have a mic, Danny, but you can just do it in the chat if you don't. You're gonna walk on the first one, Danny. I ain't gonna let you do anything here. This is probably gonna be a fold, right? Are you to influence you? Jam! No, he don't give a fuck. Take that back.
Sounds like Sid
That
had.
is the extreme opposite of fold. I stand corrected. God,
It's
at
a
the final
fold.
table, multi-way, these are
Oh, this final
crazy
no.
folds. The argument though is that deep stacked, late open, late call, there might be some squeezing.
And you're like squeezing king 8 suited,
100%
not
fold.
even,
Yeah,
not
but
even
look,
your suited. Yeah,
No,
way
just
up
suited
there.
paint. Just suited paint.
Yeah,
King, queen, oh, I probably missed these two for sure.
blocker effects, yeah.
Yeah.
Tight as fuck.
Yeah, try to spot, definitely, those islands that don't block the bottom of their folds.
Yeah, your pairs you don't want to play post out of position either, just jam them. Just rip it.
What are you doing here, Danny? Jam, against 18 bigs, this might actually be a thing. We have a lot of jams here. We have a ton of jams here. This is gonna be a super
Yeah,
good
but
game.
suited, we don't. A jam king 8 off.
I think you jam, arguably jam both.
Okay,
For me, it's gonna depend a little bit about who this player is. If this
right,
is Joel, I'm fucking jamming 100%.
right.
I think I min raise.
Yeah, min raise to fold, min
And
raise
then
to call off.
fold, yeah.
Well,
What
I
do you
think
think,
that against solver. It's close, but I think I fold.
against the
Three
public?
fold.
I didn't hear what you said.
Against the public, because you said against solver.
Oh, against the public?
Mhm.
Yeah, definitely fold.
Okay, so just folding it, raise folding. I think you probably should go over min though, 2.5. Maybe 2.7.
Yeah, you know what? Small blind, yeah, 2.5. I'm sorry.
Raise folding, jam like 40% range. Danny, I think this is a big jam spot too. Whether it is weak king X, yes. Shit, that might be a big jam too, man. Okay, let's find out. Yep. Look at that jamming range.
King 9 suited.
Okay, so it was higher kings that you just raised, okay.
Yeah, you're really good kings, but you don't really care calling off.
King 8s, yeah, king 9 mixes, so that's kind of a.
Who's jamming
okay.
their 10-3 suited? Get in there. Get in the game. Who's jamming 8-3, 7-3, 6-3 suited? Get in the
Nope.
game.
Nope,
Get in the game.
Jack
your nits-
4
zip your
offsuit.
nits up.
I thought this would be a little more polarized than what it's showing. Like I thought, like obviously aces, kings, queens, jacks do the min raise, but I thought there would be more like Broadway paint. Doing shoves, and then the middle sections like this might do min raises, and then the bottom shove again.
Sure. I mean, I'm probably over jamming this stuff here myself. And definitely over jamming this stuff here. And definitely folding this stuff here. I'm telling you, like what I would do.
so
And then
that's counter.
probably, I probably have some limps. I don't have any limps here. If I'm honest, I would probably unknowingly limp like this range here.
Mhm. It's counterintuitive though, this is one of those counterintuitive spots.
Fuck this guy. He can't ever call. Ever.
Suited. Well,
Ever call. Plus, there's two shorter
again,
stacks at this
solver
table,
can't,
right?
but the freaking
Three.
idiots we play will. But
3 shorter stacks here. Like, they can't call. Even in game, like people are gonna call, especially at the final table, Matt, where like they can see the light at the end of the tunnel, right? So they're naturally gonna be tighter. You might get called here more than you should with like, well, we can't see his calling.
is this FT or 25? I don't.
Final table. See,
I
on the-
thought we were
see it?
doing 25%.
It's mixing all ICM spots.
Oh,
So you
where
gotta-
does it say then? I'm,
Right here. See?
oh geez, fuck. Freaking look at the screen. God.
Yeah.
Okay.
Court awareness.
Well,
Court
that
awareness for this one, because
Look at that. It says final table in the middle of the table.
I didn't, yeah,
how I get this,
my bad.
is there a
Oh, God.
way to, oh yeah, fucking, this is where GTO Wizard's better than PFA, and that you can just click study and it'll put you right to the to the spot.
To the sim, yeah.
You can't do that here. I don't think.
They usually do have like a thing for the range of,
Yeah, this one doesn't have it. Oops. This one doesn't have it though, right? It's usually this little button here.
yeah. I guess because he didn't act yet.
Yeah.
Because if you look at the other ones, there is that button on the other players.
Let's see if I can find it.
Yeah, I was gonna say earlier you looked at the range for the
40,
other
18,
player.
12, 40.
40 and 18.
Final table. This was 8 max. Small blind, we were at 4. It's this one, right?
Yeah, that looks like it.
And then we are in the
Small blind.
BD versus the small blind.
No, we're small blind versus big.
No, we
Oh,
want
he
to look at
wants
the
to
big blind
find the
call,
answer for-
big blind calling range.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Versus RFI.
I mean,
It's
it's
not versus
probably
jam.
like. Frickin' eights.
Oh, there you go.
plus,
Versus the all in.
Sixes plus.
This is the
yeah,
calling
okay.
range.
Ace five suited, ace seven.
These are
off.
tough calls right here. Tough calls.
yeah.
The rest of this feels pretty natural, I think. Cool. You got it. 2 more hands. What are you doing here, Danny? Call. What do you think, Matt?
Final
Bolt.
table 40 versus 60. 9-5 off. 9. That's like almost borderline fold or raise fold.
Yeah,
I'd
I'm
like
at
I'd
fold.
like 3x fold it maybe. I might just be an open fold too. Like 9-7, I think maybe we'll play.
Hmm.
9-8 off, 9-7 off. It's too gapped.
Trash as fuck. What
Yeah.
were you gonna say, Joey?
Oh, me?
Was that Joey?
I
Sorry,
fold.
Joey folding. Who else was talking? Someone else was talking. I thought it was Joey.
That was me. I'd fold.
Julian folding.
Yeah, I'd fold and I'd be like Matt said, around 9-8 is about where I'd be.
If this is in there in the solver, it's gonna be one of those 0.0 something.
Yeah, I'm small
Plays.
leagues. I would fold this in game for sure. I don't think limp folding is terrible either.
Yeah, we're pretty deep. I would play it.
If I'd play it, I'd raise fold it. I wouldn't limp it, but
It's right outside range.
yeah, it's just right. Yeah, 9-6, 9-7.
Just a hair too gappy, like Matt was saying. You need to have some sort of straight connectivity.
Yep.
Again, though. No fucking raising range. Please. No raising range at 40 versus 60.
That's crazy.
Yeah, otherwise, I guess
Uh,
that protects you from getting run over, because if you have a.
Because you're limping so much of the stuff.
Yeah, because you protect your limp range with all your strong hands. This way he can't just raise every time, but if you're more polarized, he can. Get away with raising you, I guess.
Yeah, some dude, I see the 6-line stack, so risk of ruin is massive here, 25% risk premium for sure. That said, like, we don't give a fuck with these hands, right?
No,
Sucks a little bit with ace king, ace queen, for example, for sure. We don't give a
do
fuck.
they,
about these
do they ever jab at 40 or they just 3-bet you, right?
when we raise.
Yeah. I mean, they
Be
might have a
sick.
soft hand.
That'd be sick. Put so much pressure on us.
I mean, you can't see because we don't have a raising range.
Oh,
Oh, right. If we're never
yeah, this is a
supposed to
GTO
raise,
wizard.
duh.
Yeah, that's just pure limp.
All right, Danny, here we go. This is 5 out of the money.
That's gross. That's so sick.
Already gross. The power of the min raise. Danny, that's scary. It's suited.
I'm
Getting odds. It's calling. Kept knitting it up.
I think you jam it.
I'm folding.
There's a fold.
Honestly, 5 for the money, I would have open folded.
Yeah, me
I don't
too.
think you can fold suited.
Yeah, I do though. Playing 5 for the money, just make the money, then I'll scroll around.
But I
I'm
would,
the same way, Cap.
I would probably fold here in game myself. I'll just
Yeah,
fold.
if I'm that close to the money bubble, I'm being a super nit until it busts.
Pucks, we did
Yeah.
limp. We limped and got min raised.
The button has 6 big blinds, so we can't. There's a 6. We don't know what's on the other tables.
My mindset here is I wanna have as many chips when the bubble breaks, so when I jam, I can get a max double up.
Limp fold, okay.
I mean, look how much folding we're doing. So much folding. A lot of these though are dark, not because we open fold them, but because like aces, for example, we raise pre. That's
So
why
this is
so dark.
calling.
Kings we raise pre. This is calling, but I'm calling for a decent amount of VP. If he goes any bigger, we have to fold.
Gross.
All right, last hand here, Danny. Fuck that bubble. Danny, too rich to care.
ICMs for poor people.
That's right. We said that. We said that earlier.
I love that.
Ooh, said don't get fucked. He's on.
I mean,
Jam for Danny. Fold for Pops. There's Pops. Matt, you fold?
And this final table, snap fold.
You money fold. I'm folding too. To be fair.
Yeah, this can't be good.
This 12 blind call is strong as balls.
Yeah, multi-way, I'm folding.
Without ISO in, he just snap called it like he's
He-
calling aces, kings.
Well, I
maybe
mean, it's the solver. We
queens there,
we
like-
can't have a timing tell on the solver.
yeah, you can just realize, just ask yourself, does he ever flat with ace jack?
Look at
No,
this.
okay, fold.
Woo!
No, he'd ISO jam
Flatting
ace
tens,
jack for
flatting
20.
aces.
Like, this is trappy. When he just calls off a 12 and leaves himself 10 behind, like,
Yeah,
that's trappy to me. It's like uber nuts.
I don't
Like
think.
ace jack, ace queen and stuff would just ISO jam here.
Or
I don't
or
think
Try to
maybe
get folds,
I don't
like
think I don't think ace jack ISO jams, cause he.
No.
loves
ace
both
jack
of
wouldn't
your
know,
hand.
but yeah.
maybe
I'm
he's-
wondering if ace king folds.
maybe he's protecting himself.
He's not though.
Well, he
case-
shouldn't have any, he shouldn't, well, yeah, I mean, look
Oh,
at his flats.
Yeah, that's his range. Okay.
Yeah.
So I guess he's planning to fold tens to the shove and call off aces.
Pretty close.
You're folding ace king here too, Toe? Is that what you said?
I am shook with ace king.
Yeah.
And am I on stream or not? If I'm on stream-
Am I on stream? I'm not showing
It's
it.
the problem with being, it's the problem with being a known streamer or following is that
The
you're
thing with ace
forced,
king,
you're forced to call here with ace king. If it says fold.
if you call with ace king and lose, you still have 32 bigs.
Yeah, that's true. That is a good
right.
point.
That's what I was about to say.
But like, this is so strong. And when we look at the range, with ace king though, we're beating more of the range, right? We're beating this sliver, we're beating this, we're flipping against this pretty good. And so I'm not sure about ace king. He's all 100% fold. Ace king mixing fold. Look at that.
Yeah.
This is exactly how I like when I look at these spots. I'm like, man, ace king makes me feel half dirty. And I look and I'm supposed to feel half dirty. Jacks, full. Tens, full.
I mean, honestly, if I'm sitting here with queens, I don't know what to do.
I don't either. I'd be shook.
The only thing
And
is you
I-
have 50 blinds, so 22 won't kill you.
No.
If we had
Okay.
25 though, I wonder what queens does.
Yeah.
Probably fold.
Tougher, right? Much tougher with 25 and it's gonna crush your stack.
Even if you only have like 40, it's gonna change a lot. I think you're gonna be tight, even.
Oh,
tighter.
yeah.
Up. All right, cool. New contestant. Let's go the opposite way. Seth,
Oh, me.
let's see how nasty you can get, Seth.
Yeah, kind of raised with the
At the final table.
what's it's the final table. I will jam.
Interesting. We got a jam. Anybody else
Awesome.
jamming?
I was gonna say, get ready for a lot of big raises and a lot of jams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your money
Said
needed
bring-
up. Ash is
Sid
folding.
brings a rocket launcher to a gunfight.
He is the definition of aggression.
Said, are you French or French Canadian?
Both are. I'm French Canadian.
French Canadian. It's funny, it's because like I was gonna say the French aren't that like known as like that passive of people, but the Canadians are known to be like neutral and so easygoing. Not said though. He's bringing up the aggression factor for the whole country.
Yeah, Sid is #1 aggressor for sure.
To be fair, I don't hate a jam here, man. We got awesome blockers. This guy could almost never call for half a stack. This jam does not seem crazy to me. This jam does not seem crazy to me. It's probably close to the bottom.
I know it's gonna mix a bit with polarized range. Not
Look at
even.
this.
Close.
take that back.
Not jam ace 10, not
Look at
even
this.
ace 10, yeah.
Ace jack
Not
and ace
even
10
jack.
folding.
Ace
Wow.
10, I hate myself. Ace jack is even
Wow.
Yeah. snap fold. Like you lose, like
Wow.
you're giving up 2 10 big stacks behind you that are gonna bust, like you
Yeah, but he has to be able to
lose to
call.
this guy. Yeah, I know he has to call super tight, but like you lose this and then you're just punting. Right, with 2 10 big blind stacks that are gonna, you're losing 2 ladders.
What is
here
his
just
range
for,
to put the
fold
2 BB?
equity, like.
Hmm.
I don't know.
What is cutoff range for 2 BB berets on this?
He's opening wide as fuck. He's the chip leader. He can open everything.
Pretty wide. Wide-ish. Solver don't give a fuck.
You have to play tight.
Tight.
Actually, that's a bit tough. That's,
I mean, it's not wildly tight. It's tighter
No.
than it would be in chippy.
yeah, yeah.
He's not the actual chip leader though. The chip leader's behind him, which is making him tight a little bit
Yeah, the
more. But
button's
yeah,
the
he's
chip
still,
leader.
he's 2x over everybody else. So like,
Yeah.
he's still gonna be wide enough, but I don't think we can jam that, no. Oh,
Oh,
limp raise.
It's a fold.
Probably a call.
Uh,
No.
Call all your suited, yeah.
You got it.
Wow.
Yeah,
It was a lot of folds when we looked at the last spot where
I'm shocked because you don't call 9-8, 9-7.
yeah, it's weird, right?
No, that's weird. I call these in
I wonder if
49,
these raised pre.
no, they're
55.
they're not folds. They're out of
Raise
range
pre.
because they do something different pre-flop.
They might even
Mostly
jam.
because I should have raised.
Yeah.
with-
The
These are all
grays are
jams. These are all
folds.
jams,
Just
said, that's
jam.
why. They're just
The
jams.
grays are folds.
No, these are folds because we jammed them. They're
No,
not
no, the
our-
gray is fold.
Oh, the gray is fold. Yeah,
Yeah.
I got
Yeah,
you.
the black is out of range.
Out of range.
Yep,
That's because we
yep,
jammed them.
Honestly, I don't hate a fold here anyhow.
I would fold it here
I don't care
too.
what the
I
solver
would
says.
fold here too.
I really don't care what the solver says.
Now, at 50%, that's, you have to call a lot of your suited stuff.
You can say you have to. I mean, if you're playing against a robot, yeah, I agree 100%, Joey. But I mean, versus population, I just fold. I don't care.
I have
Yeah.
agreed with you, Kev. My thought is that like, I don't need to spot my life. Well, the argument is that this is a final table. If this was final table, I would fold for sure. Mostly because I don't need to spot my life. I don't want to hit a 5 and have to call another one and be down to 15. I don't want to hit a, second pair with my 10 no kicker and have to float and then be weird on the turn. So I will avoid these spots too. This is only half the field gone. With only half the field gone, we're not going to be wildly tighter than Chippy Blue, which makes this more of a call, which makes more sense to me.
My only caveat, like, all right, if it's you in the big blind or someone I know that's a good player that I have it where I believe is a good player, fine, I'll call. But someone that's happy to just call behind my limps
Yeah,
and
and
only
suddenly
raises with a
raise.
strong range, I'm
So
folding.
fold. Oh. Yeah, I call.
Oh, Sad was paying attention. I love it. He found the lip. I'm pretty sure there's gonna be a lip. We do cover now, though.
Yeah, I know with the big end, like aces, king and ace king, you limp
Limp trap, yeah.
SB
Yeah.
again BB.
You limp
Yeah.
3-betting
Say-
then? Limp jamming, limp.
People are
3-betting?
arguing that because we cover, we might raise here.
I think you raise your
Fair.
suited side more than your offsuit
Yeah.
in these
Yeah,
spots.
suited I'd raise here, offsuit call.
Oh, I mean, offsuit's gonna raise too. I just think the suited raises more.
Interesting. Let's call. Yeah, so we cover, I mean, there's a lot of limp here, to be fair said. You don't agree, but not too bad. But look, there's a lot of limp here. Queens, jacks, tens. This one is because we cover. You guys nailed it.
Mostly, I've seen so much limp with the ace that I'm used to limp the ace when I'm a small blind and I'm first-in.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
And-
we are a bit deeper, 50 and 40.
Well, we at 40
Well-
bigs, when it was 40 effective and it was 40 for us and 60 for the big blind, this was pure
Yeah.
limp.
I mean,
Right.
Right.
Oh, yeah, that's when we were limping everything.
your risk premium is super high here too. You're 1
Mhm.
versus 2 here when you got 2 20s and the 10 on there. So you gotta, you're not looking to get stacks in here with this guy.
Mhm.
So
But-
that's why you're limping in your entire range almost here is because like, you don't want to get into a pot with this guy on this final
Mhm.
table. You're just
Yeah,
like
but-
looking to pick off some big blinds from him, but you're not getting 40 in here, even with ace king. That's.
Yeah, no, but he's also in the same boat, but even
Sure.
worse.
Oh, yeah,
Well,
yeah,
yeah, because
absolutely.
risk
So
awareness
neither
is-
one of you are gonna really be doing anything here.
Yeah, it's gonna be knit on knit violence.
Yeah.
Well, I guess knit on knit non-violence, right? No violence.
Right.
All right, last hand here said,
Oh, it's all in.
oh, he's Snapchat.
That's
Anybody
not-
disagree?
Alright. Yeah, no, I'm not jamming this.
Interesting here. We got two shorter stacks.
Yeah, we got two really short stacks. This is,
Fold.
Yeah, he's chip leader though. I'm sorry. I'm just.
It's
stuffing it.
probably, it's borderline fold, yeah.
I'm stuffing it.
I'm kind of stuffing it too, I think.
I think they stuff it in, but I want the first.
Suited, I jam. Offsuit, I think it's a fold.
I went first too, but
I used to think that way, but the more I'm doing ICM, the more I'm realizing that my old thought process was just wrong.
yeah, like I said, this is an understudied spot, so you're ignorant to the strategies here, right? I think a lot of people in the public are unaware of what proper strategies, because like we see some of these, nobody's limping aces, BVB, 40 bigs deep, like
But still,
nobody.
we got good blockers on this with this one.
And if I saw someone limp aces to me, like they would snap, get a note, like, holy shit, this guy limped aces for 40 days deep.
I think the hijack's gonna massively overfold when we jam too. Like he's gonna obviously call some hands, but pretty sure he massively overfolds.
And we have the good blockers. I'm pretty sure this is going to be a jam too. I could be wrong. This is a tough spot. Let's find out. Bang. Oh, all right. I
The
mean,
Knicks-
the
Knicks were not wrong.
Suited you jam, offsuit you don't.
The
Look at
Knicks
these-
win
look at
again.
these- Look at Nick for the win. This is like the best for Matt and Cap and all those guys who lean on the tighter side. Because this is just gonna be natural for them, right? To make these folds.
Yeah.
I only said Matt and Cap because those are the first that popped in my mind. So I apologize. No offense intended.
I'd probably
To
fold.
the-
ace
to the
10
nits I
ace jack, to be
missed,
honest, too.
And to the ones I called that may not be, well,
Well,
Cap and Matt, to be fair, are both like unicorn knits and where they're really tight in some spots, but then other spots, they just don't give a fuck.
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, a lot of jamming, lot of folding.
You want your suited side when you're doing that one.
Yeah, with those other stacks, you don't want to bust.
Yeah, with the 5 and the 8 out there. Yep. Yep. Oh, I forgot Mike. Mike is definitely on team knit. Should have nailed that one. There you go. Mike flying his knit flag proud. What are we doing here? Set? Is it set? No, it's someone new. What are we doing here, Joey?
Oh, this one's hard.
It's a big size.
Yeah,
Giraffe says King Queen O sucks. I think King Queen suited and Ace 10 are probably, in my opinion, two of the
Alright.
most overplayed hands of poker. Go ahead, Joey.
in game against population, I'm folding this, but I think against solver might be in a call.
I think for me, both of this one just seems way too strong.
I was thinking about a click, but I think it's too good to
Ooh,
click.
nasty. Yeah, you get in some
King
weird
10
spots.
suited, do a 3.5x. Final table with 110 big blind behind. Like this might.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Cause if you're in a
This
big blind
hand's
with a,
so strong.
if
Yeah,
the
I
big
know.
blind's an honest razor, like just linear at the top.
I
Pucks
mean,
has
this
to
is
be
like
limp
the
range.
bottom of your kings.
Yes.
We're, alright, so yeah, we're limping everything.
So we see this again, like when we are covered by the big blind, it's a pure limp strategy at the final table. Sick. Very similar to 100 blind stacks. You'll notice that like chip BB, 100 bigs deep.
God, I will not.
I hit him with a click if I got king eight, king nine. I
You
think
see
I'm
like very
call.
similar, right? Full limp range. Chip BB. Limping aces. This stuff I definitely do because I know the charts.
First in, so yeah. Something I learned.
I think we have to go. What'd you say, Joey? You said you're calling against solver, folding against
Yeah.
public. Yeah, we have to go. Just too good.
So you
wow.
can get spicy with
Okay.
king two and king three. It's too high up in range with the king eight.
Yeah, the danglers.
I would not call that many.
If you want to maximize your fold equity with the king X, I gotta remember that more. I gotta do better with that.
Joey gets a walk. Joey, another tough one.
Well, we're definitely V-pipping it. I don't know if it,
Well, we limped and got raised. So, oh, you mean V-pipping by calling at least?
yeah, we're not folding.
Got you.
I'm just trying to figure out if it has any. Alright, so we're probably limping our whole range. Aces, kings, queens. Probably want to raise small. So this one might be shoving.
I'm shoving Joey.
Limb shoving king jack suited.
This might be a love jam. Doesn't seem great.
I gotta see 5 cards with this. I don't wanna call out of position and then be like on the flop, get a small piece and have to fold. I wanna see it. I wanna see them all.
What's his raise range like? Joey, what'd you say you're done?
I wanted to jam it.
Jam it. You were close.
This a blocker jam? King
You were
queen
close.
suited.
Look at these limp jams. Shit. Get out of here.
Yeah, right.
These seem okay. These are like, what?
And they're unprotected jams.
That,
Oh, that's their raise. I'm sorry. You're right. My bad.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, Danny. I suck at PFA. So jam.
There we go.
There it is.
oh, queens is jamming too. I thought queens would be in the raise small.
Oh, queens need
King
protection.
nine suited in there. Yep. It's good. King nine suited's good. King
Well,
nine
that's a
suited, you'll
queen.
notice in a lot of spots in general in poker is like one of the best bluff kings. 3 bets a lot. King jack suited seems to be one of those diamonds too a lot. This is good. This seems pretty natural. Not these. Semi. Like not limp jamming nines.
Mix. I would probably jam nines a lot there.
This is half the field gone, Joey.
TikTok.
Time
Sorry, I was muted. Didn't realize I muted myself. I like to flat this one.
Me too.
I think king jack and king 10 might do some raising.
Weirdly, I think it's a jam.
Yeah, it's a jam. I'm jamming this.
Jamming. Definitely a jam chip BB.
Cut off hijack. Another gun one. Yeah, I'm calling flat early position.
Joey, you said you're calling?
Yeah,
It's the call. It's the call. Nice one, Joey. Nailed it. A little bit of jam, but like sliver.
I-
Jamming the best
Sliver.
EV though. Oh, tied. Tied with call. Cool. Last one, Joey. This is final
Final
table. This is
table.
not chippy V.
alright, so what? Got a 6. Just one small one smaller stack. I think
Raise, no jam.
I'd probably just run this.
Yeah, I'm ripping it too.
Yeah, me too. Jam, says Jamie. Jam, says Molten Ashes. Call for Danny. Jam for some dude. Mike just raising. Yeah, never on this stack depth. I would just be only raising aces and kings and maybe queens and then jamming all that other stuff. That's it. Yeah. Not as wild of a jam range as the last one, but still wide as fuck. When we saw that other one that held the jams in here, I think this would be my natural jamming range in comparison, I think. No limping.
Yeah, you have to be
Ooh.
careful though, because the 6 big blind stack is next in the big blind.
Whoever said limping was pimping is wildly good for this game and a wildly good player, but he lied to you. Don't, limping is not pimping. There used to be a student in the puck coaching Discord who used to talk about the best limpers in the game. And I used to argue there's no such thing as best limpers in the game. There's no such-
Was it the guy who never learned, insisted he was always right?
Yes. He was one
Yeah,
of the guys too.
I think that was one of his identities.
And remember all the
Limping- there are
times they
no
make,
there are no best limpers in the game. Limping
They
is
remember-
not
they
a winning
remember that-
strategy overall.
they remember the times they get tricky and limp aces and win a huge pot, but they don't know how much EV they're losing. All the other times they limped, it didn't get shit.
Yeah, same guy. The guy, same guy did not believe ranges existed.
I heard
Cool.
I heard an interview of Negreanu having a limping strategy in the high roller and winning the tournament. Said that the pros work so much on the shard that they used to face bet, but they can manage some limping limping range.
Yeah, I mean, the Garno, I think, I mean, God, if you want to talk about best limpers in the game, I wish this guy brought this argument because it would have been a tough one to argue. Because
No,
as far as best limpers in the game, I think Agrano actually falls into that category. And I
Hell
do
yeah.
agree that
Hell
you
yeah.
bring people into a part of the solve tree that they don't know, they are less comfortable with because they don't, who studies the limp words.
Hell yeah, that's so true. He's awesome at that.
However,
know
however,
It
the
only
saying-
really works at the super high stakes,
I
not
do some
anything.
limping.
I wouldn't even say that either. I would say you're going into dangerous territory. I think it might work better live than it does online in general. I think if you've taken the master classes or the advanced tournament class, while they do pay me to say this, I would say it anyways. It's always my asterisks in these scenarios where they're great. They're lined up great and they have specific models on dealing with numbers. And I think these good players have similar strategies, I imagine, because I don't think Jonathan necessarily wrote the book on how to deal with limpers. We've all been dealing with limpers all day, every day for our entire career. So I do think there's a strategy to combat it, especially if you're dealing with good players. However, if you're talking about best limpers of the game, he's got to be one of them. And you know where he excels, what makes him better than most is his ability to play post, regardless of his holdings. I think there's very, 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 very few people in this world who can play so good post that they can have a limping strategy that is still plus EV.
You know, his favorite saying is limping is pimping.
Yeah, that's what started the conversation.
I get freaked out, like if I'm in a big spot and there's a good player that like never limps, all of a sudden limps. It freaks me out. Like, I'm like, what the hell's going on here, you know?
Mm.
And it's not, and when it's a good player, it's not just aces, like they're just changing their strategy, like at the final table.
I mean, I'll talk about this, like the Learn Poker Pro guys, Ryan LaPlante is another one of those limpers. And then if you know who was part of that, the core part of that group, those guys are limpers. My argument to that is, well, I think the limp game, my honest answer is, I think the limp game is such a nuanced thing and takes such good post-flop skills that deviate from the solver in a lot of ways because you're node locking, right? You're not going with the normal strategy. That it's like trying to teach someone to paint by number versus trying to teach someone to be Picasso, right? And like it's easy to teach people to paint by number and PGTO, and it's easier. You have math and you have all these charts and these tools to kind of strengthen your your arguments, and then you know, you don't have that when you're going so far out of the norm.
I have been experimenting with the late position limps like it's sub 20 big blinds.
Yeah, and I'll say this too, like, man, like, again, like, I think he's successful. Look, the guy's got bracelets. He's got bracelets. He's got scoop titles. You know, like, the guy's got a fantastic career around the planet. However, I think coaching and teaching that is really hard. And I also think
It is.
giving that strategy to up and comers and low stakes players is detrimental.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Oh,
agree.
anyway, I was just saying that I was not going to use this strategy, but I just find it weird that you talk about the limping, and he has a video about this tournament that he speak of his strategy, and that's why.
Sasson have Olympic strategy. I mean, I'm not going to say anything about Sasson, what I think about his skill level, but I play with him every day, all day, and I will say that he is very much not solver approved in general.
No, not close.
And
I have the
has
most
one of the
trouble-
bigger bankrolls on global for sure, but super not. You know,
Who's
another
that
guy, Sexton Hardcastle, has a lot of success. Very much a BFIS student, who BFIS is very exploitable. And so he is very, very much not GTO.
I have so much trouble with Alex Fitzgerald's quizzes.
Content. Yep. Because he's wildly exploited. It's good to have that in your toolbox. It's good to have all of it in your toolbox. But I think, I mean, I'm a big firm believer, you know, we got a little rough on tangent, but it's still poker related. My heroes, the guys that I look up to, are guys like, you know, Doug Polk. Whether you love him or hate him as a personality, he's a phenomenal poker player. Justin Saliba, Matt Affleck, those are the guys that I go to, and or the guys that I admire. And all of those guys are heavy GTO based, and then they exploit
Yeah,
based on they deviate based on science, which a guy like me can understand and incorporate. You know, when you get wildly creative, you start to get into a part again of the tree where it's hard to argue one way or the other, because you're doing things in such a non-standard way, right? Everything changes. It's really hard to mold your game that way. Go ahead, Joey.
I like watching Doug Polk play. Have you watched any of his 100K heads up battles that he started doing?
Yeah, I watched a bit of the one against Perkins and a bit of the one against Scott Ball.
Yeah.
Scott Ball's a good guy. I was in Costa Rica with Scott Ball one time, and we were drunk as shit at the bar. And he was like, "Here, Toe." And he gave me, I don't remember how much money it was. He just handed me, it was a few $1,000s. And he's like, "We're going to play." He's like, "We're going to play blackjack." And so me and Scott Ball and Fat Train and Phil Nagy end up playing $200 a hand blackjack together
Dear God.
on their money. And yeah, it was fun. It was a super fun time.
Yeah, I bet. If it's not my money, I'm all in.
Yeah. Like, "We're going, Toe." I was like, "More, fuck it, we're going. It's your money." Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So Scott Ball's super nice guy. But even if he didn't give me a few $1,000s to gamble, he's still a super nice guy. That's my Scott Ball story. So yeah. Cool. What time is it? We got 10 more minutes or so before I gotta wrap it. Can't go. We went long. We went about 2. We're gonna go about 2 hours, but I can't go quite as long as 6 because I gotta play today. Usually I'm 4 taping by the time we're done with this motherfucker. I got arcades to buy and kids to feed.
Gotta get
So-
them Happy Meals.
That's right. Well, for me, it's arcade machines. And I guilty pleasure. You guys, most of you, I think, have seen I have a full arcade.
Oh wow, I didn't know that. That's
Yeah.
sick.
When I go on my mega heaters, that's what happens. I get arcade machines. I just got 2 last week. 2 more. It's good to be, you know, my kids are grown. Well, I have one kid whose special needs will be with us forever, whatever. But for the most part, he's still grown. He's 26. But my kids are grown and out of the house and mostly have jobs and shit. So
Time for you to be
I get to spend all my money on me. It's good to be in your mid 40s, young 50s, and be established. By toys. You watch special needs teacher, that's cool. Yeah, my son is autistic number. We're super lucky though. He
Joey, did you say you're autistic?
am I autistic? Oh, Joey.
No, Joey.
I think Joey is on the spectrum.
I can't hear. There's a lawnmower outside my window. What'd you say?
You're
You're on the
autistic,
spectrum, right, Joey?
Yeah,
Yeah, but Joey's high functioning and
Yeah.
my son's low functioning and nonverbal. Although I'm super lucky, like when he went to his special needs high school, like there was kids there that were just all kinds of tragically fucked up, you know, either disabled mentally or disabled physically or both. Some of them would hurt themselves or wear helmets and things like that. My kid is super sweet and learn to fly. He doesn't speak, but it's pretty easy. Like, Matthew, do you want chips? That's yes. Matthew, you want chips? That's no. Like pretty easy. Yeah. So Ash is also on the spectrum. Interesting.
yeah, my son, he has autism really bad too.
Does he?
It's thumbs up and thumbs down.
Oh, we don't even get that. There's sometimes where like we have a staring contest. You know, like
If
he
I did
wins,
that to
he
my
wins a
son,
lot of the staring contests. I'll never forget one time we'll go on the tangent, we'll get back to poker. It's like one time, the only time I think I can ever think of that he actually like spoke a full sentence is he came downstairs one day, my wife and I were watching TV and he said, I want to eat a sandwich. And we said, oh, well, holy shit. So we got up and we made him a sandwich and he didn't want to eat a sandwich. He put that shit on TV or something. Had a moment of clarity. But yeah, he's a good kid. Cool. All right. Anyways, back to fucking poker. Who can we pick? Meatball. You out there, Meatball?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, let's do some of this ICM shit. Final table. Ruh-roh. Hard one right at the final table, right at the beginning.
All in.
Meatball, I have every game you mentioned plus a bunch more. All in, says Meatball. Jam says something. While you guys are coming in, yeah, Meatball, I have Street Fighter, I have Mortal Kombat, I have Simpsons, I have Dungeons Dragon's Lair, Ninja Turtles. I have one machine that's got 4,000 of games of all of the 80s. So Pac-Man, Galaga, Dig Dug, Donkey Kong.
I'm really good at all of those except Dragon's Lair. Could never
Galaga.
figure that damn game out.
Yeah, that's a
Do
cool
you
game.
have Area 51?
That's a fun game.
I don't have Area 51, but the next one on my list is I was actually gonna get Terminator, which is the same kind of game, right?
Oh yeah, another good
I think
one
you
was,
got. I think you got a shove here because the ICM. He
Mm,
can't call. He can't call. He can't call unless he
Well,
has nuts.
we're facing it all in, right?
No, the other guy. The other guy.
Oh yeah, he's out. We don't know.
He has to be out without. He has to be out with like everything, even like
He's
everything.
out. He's out. We don't really got to worry about this guy, but I just wonder if we call here. I fucking in game. I would lie to you if I didn't tell you I folded in game at a decent
Okay.
clip.
Yeah,
Just because when we call here, one, he's jamming early-ish position. He's jamming into the whole table. This range is going to be pretty strong, and none of it is going to be. I mean,
Oh,
maybe
my
it's jam.
apologies.
You didn't see
My
the jam.
apologies. I didn't realize we were a full table. I thought we were three-handed.
No,
And-
yeah.
and
Okay.
Three-handed, I would call. for
And
sure.
he's
Okay.
jamming with a 9 big black stack about to hit the big blind.
Yeah, he didn't min raise it. Like, yeah, this range is going to be pretty strong, I think. Let's check.
yeah.
Might be one of those spots where it's a really strong range, but we have to fucking call anyways.
Mm.
But look, his jamming range is ace queen, and then some of the fuck.
Oh,
Looking at this, it might be a call just because the jam
Yeah,
range is so
looking at
weird.
this, it looks like you have to call.
I would say their range is not like this in practice. I think their range is going to be suited paint, a lot of these suited aces, definitely this stuff here, and then pretty close to all pairs. I think in real life is what this is going to look like quite a bit. Maybe even some
I like
king
your
queen now.
I like your analyzing. That's
Yeah.
a good point.
Yeah, in which case we're flipping a lot and behind a lot. Here, this might be a call because the solver does weird shit. I forgot who I picked though. Who did I pick? I picked Beanball. Meatball said he's all in.
The meatball.
Go meet.
He got it.
Let's go.
He got it. That's a function of the range too. I think in real life, Meatball, this is a better fold. You play on global. You play on global. This is a better fold.
This is a fold?
Yeah.
Am I misreading the chart or?
No.
Oh,
Against the
You say-
solver, against the
Okay.
solver, in this scenario, this is a call. This is a call because when we look at their jamming range, look, it's this stuff and this stuff. We beat all this. We beat
Yeah.
this. We're
Yeah,
flipping with
fine.
this, we're tied with this. However, when you're playing against random global person, their range isn't gonna look like, their jamming range isn't gonna look like this. Their jamming range is gonna be all of this stuff. Their jamming range is gonna be all of this stuff. The jamming range is gonna be this stuff and then most pairs. And
Oh, I
against
gotta work on
that
that then.
range, our ace queen isn't doing very well.
Yeah, a lot of the weaker players don't have a mixed range here. They're just
Right.
all in shove with everything.
Right.
All in or
So
fold with everything.
you
Good
get
shit, Toe.
100% good on the solver, but I think that's a place where we would deviate from GTO.
I'm not
That's a
sure I'm
tough
good
one
enough
too.
to
That's
do
a
that
really
yet.
tough one. It's a great, that's a good one right there.
All right, here we go. 9-4 suited. What are you doing, Meatball?
Nice.
Just call.
Okay. What's everyone doing? Larry, what are you doing? I haven't heard from Larry. You can type in chat, Larry. Larry's trying to hide. Who else is in here trying to hide? Yeah, he's been parts of it. All you guys are all. You guys are the super rags. Just Larry. Larry tried to hide from me. We're getting him. I see you, Larry. Can't hide from me. Toe sees everything. Call. Pure jam folds in the spot. Ace 10 suited, ace 5 suited might be going to a jam. So Harley Murray, ace 5 suited. This is a raise, he says. I would have. I wonder if I have any raising range here that isn't.
Yeah, that was what I was
or
asking
no.
myself.
I definitely don't want to jam aces, but I think we might limp aces. Same with
You do
kings.
have a jamming range here though, right?
I
There's
have
definitely-
I have a massively wide jamming range. here.
So do we act, yeah, so since we're gonna be wide jamming range, do we ever put a suited weak hand like this in there?
Maybe we saw that in the other charts. He
Yeah.
was jamming all this shit.
Yeah, like I'm wondering if it's just a jam or fold instead of a.
I don't think it's a raise though. I would say jam before myself. I can see limping too with the suited cadets. Interesting.
Lippin's pippin'.
Meatball, you said you're limping. Let's do it.
Yep.
100%.
Let's go, baby.
100% limp.
100%. But look at this. I mean, we
It's
weren't that
just
far.
under-
We weren't that far off on the jams.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of jamming. And then again, look, aces. I said I don't think I have much of a raising range here. Aces, and it was like one of the only ones. Yeah,
Okay.
this stuff too. Interesting. I would certainly jam this in game. I think too strong.
Yeah.
I would jam a lot of this in game too. Too strong. Fun one. All right.
Ugh.
What you think, Ryan?
We're kind of low. Big blind's got us covered. Got to take a shot somewhere. I'd probably jam this.
Savage. I love it.
Fold.
I love you.
Savage.
I
No,
like him. He's still a savage. He's still a
I like
savage.
this guy. I like this guy.
That's
Lots of
awesome.
folds. Lots of folds coming in the chat. Ashley,
Yeah,
so
snap
Dan,
fold.
Yeah, I'm gonna play the nit here.
I think
Joey,
there's only one reason to fold, and that's because the button call. That's my idea.
this
Oh,
call is strong.
Yeah, it's not even nitty folding this, it like ace king off maybe is like your worst
Oh.
ace.
Would you also fold ace
But
queen here?
most
Ace queen
of-
off?
I would probably jam ace king. Ace queen.
Oh,
We-
that's
we
right.
This
were-
ain't also jam.
We
Wait,
were.
where's the
we were-
calling
button.
range?
That's
Oh, this
Look
is
at
the
it.
button. This is the button.
Look at the
No
calling
calling
range.
range.
Do you see
There's
it?
No call.
It's right there. That's the calling
Multi-ways,
range.
you know this. We've learned this a lot. Multi-ways, when they flat like this, your hands out of position turn into squeeze folds.
Yeah, the other thing too is we're 20 out of the money. We're pretty close.
Yeah.
Oh,
And guys, we talk about this on Team Toe a lot. I don't know how much.
But
talked about it
we talked
here.
about this last week about multi-way pot, and when there's more person, more you need to
Oh.
fold tight,
Yeah.
really
Folding
tight.
things like, again, like King Jack O here and things like that, right? Yeah.
what about hands like ace 10, ace jack, ace 9 suited? What about hands like
Jam.
those?
Jam.
Ace,
I think it's a
jack,
little
I'm
bit
not
strong.
playing ace. I'm folding, I'm not folding ace jack off for sure. Ace queen
No,
probably.
I want to. What about the suited hands like ace 9 suited through ace jack suited?
suited feels like it has to jam.
Jam.
How about ace
Ace
10 suited? How about ace
nine.
10 suited?
Murky. I don't know, man. I really don't
Yeah.
know. I really don't
If
know.
I'm folding ace jack off, I'm folding ace 10 suited, so there you
Oh.
go.
That's
Yeah.
fair.
Jam 'em both.
That's a fair assumption.
Can I ask
Yeah.
one more question? What do we think the button's calling range is here? Just our opinion.
Oh, I showed you. I showed you what it
Okay,
was. I kind of agree with this
Oh.
range.
Okay,
It's
okay.
the aces.
Yeah, this range looks pretty close to me. It's right here.
I love it.
That's a
Yeah.
misclick. When he flats aces there, that's
It's a
where he
misclick.
misclicked. That's his
Yeah,
misclick
so
range.
we gotta be real careful here, especially like 20 out of the money. And one thing we talk about a lot on Team Toe that I don't think we really talk about in these groups a lot, which I think is really valuable, is using your clock. And like, there's a boundary.
Oh, yeah.
You don't want to stall per se, you know what I mean? But like, let your clock run down halfway, pretty much on every street, in every spot. And you'll be amazed how fast people bust. Like, especially 20 out of the money. If you're on ACR, this is about 5 to 10 minutes of play before you're in the money. So use your clock.
This is awesome
When you're
advice.
when you're on global, you'll see it a lot. Like, you'll be amazed. I happened to be deep in tournament with B Money last week, I believe it was, and I was like, we happen to be at the same table. He's a Team Toe guy, and I was like, hey man, like, I noticed you're not using use your fucking. He had like 12 bigs, something like that. I was like, use your fucking clock here, man. When we talked about this, we had happened to talk about it a few days earlier, and he was like, oh yeah, and I was like, let's count the busts, and I was being annoying, kind of on purpose to get the point across. But I'm like, let's count the busts. We were in 2 tournaments deep together, and I was like, let's do it. And I'm like, oh look, there's a bust on this one. There's a bust on this one. There's another ladder. There's another ladder. Oh wait, there's a double ladder. Oh look, one on each fucking table. Mike and
You actually only, can you hear me?
Yeah.
You actually caught me on the one hand that I didn't do it because I was doing it beforehand, but literally.
I told you,
must have
Toe
been
sees
like-
everything. That's the
Must have been
problem.
like 15 hands.
Like, if
I
you're
got-
deep in a
Must have been like
tournament,
15 ladders.
you're
I
deep
got
in a tournament,
annoyed
there's
on-
like a 30% chance I'm with you. And so I'm watching, I'm always
Nice.
watching. But yeah, like, the point was, is like, Mike never he got between 9 and 12 bigs. There was like, I don't know, it was like 25, maybe 30 people left or something. Mike ended up
What,
taking a
busted like
bad beat
12?
and busting in like 12. Like, but 8 ladders on 12
12
bigs.
bigs. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, it's massive. It's a massive thing. And
It's a gold strategy on global because the fields are so small too.
Yeah, so on global, I'll do it something like 30 or so out of the money and then continue the rest of the tournament, because at 30 or so out of the money, you're usually somewhere between 40 people left or so. And then by the time you cash, it's in the mid-20s, and you can just use it the rest of the tournament. Same thing with BetOnline. BetOnline depends. BetOnline during the week, it's a very similar strategy for me. BetOnline on the weekends, where everyone's taking shots. Take your clock down, watch one hand, play through, watch how many people are left. Take your clock down halfway, see how many people bust in that one hand. It's going to be somewhere between 2 and 5 people every hand. And so on Sundays on BetOnline, like 100 people out, I start doing it because you're going to make the cash in about 30 minutes, 45 minutes, right? And then it depends. ACR, I do it a similar thing, about 100 out of the money again. And then ACR is weird because when you cash in ACR, there's still a lot of times, especially on a Sunday, where you cash, but there's 800 people left. Well, now I'm not going to really use my clock so much for fucking 800 people. So I'll kind of like go back to normal and pick it up again when there's like 200 people left or something, right? So using that is a huge advantage. It will make you a ton of ladders.
I can tell you,
Really
you don't use it fully, because I had a friend that it was in the Micro Million in the Poker Star, and he just every hand that he didn't play, let his clock and gets it out, re-empty, and goes again, all his clock set out. Every hand it was like this to eliminate purple to be in the money.
Mhm. Yeah, it's a real strategy. I think it's underutilized. I think it's underutilized in general. And I think it's a super valuable pro tip.
Yeah, I didn't know
Super
that, so I'm
valuable
definitely
pro
about
tip.
to start using it.
Super valuable. I mean, it's always valuable, but even like exponentially more valuable when you are one of the shorter stacks. When you're like 15 bigs, 20 bigs, like you can make that shit last forever. And again, like, you don't want to be too nitty, you got to pick the right time, all that stuff, but like, you can last forever on 20. And like I was saying, when you're final 2 tables, final 3 tables, hanging out at 15 bigs is not a problem. Hanging out 12, 13 bigs is not a problem. One double up and you're right in the mix, right? Still 3 pots, 2 pots, couple of blinds and antes a couple times here and there. You're back up to 25 in no time. So super valuable pro tip. All right, guys. So that brings us to the 2 hours.
Wait,
Go ahead.
we didn't even see the answer for this hand.
Oh,
Oh,
fuck.
we all know it's a fold.
Yeah, but I wanna
Oh,
see.
yeah,
the
there's a
video.
There's a
Oh
jam.
my
It's a
god.
jam.
That's awesome. He hit it. Good
Got the
shit,
Get
dude.
blocker.
the hell out of here.
Savage. That's why I like this guy because he hit.
We were
he hit the
talking
hard
about
ones.
fold. He didn't even get to see. He left. Poor Meatball. He's
I
a
was
team
folding
coach.
ace queen probably.
I do one-on-ones with Meatball. I'll let him know he was good. So yeah. But you can see, like, we're talking about in these spots where we have to be super tight. We're folding crazy shit like King Jack and King Queen. It's right there.
Wow. Yeah.
It's right there. Multi-way. When you're just out of money and at the final table, you see this a lot too. You just let them die. There's one of my favorite quotes too is like, you want to be a wolf, you want to eat the sheep for sure. But if the sheep are killing themselves, there's no need to be a wolf. Right? So
Yeah.
let them kill themselves. Curious about Poker News Final 2. I don't know about the structure so much, but I'll say this: multinationals on WSB Nevada, for example, like when you cash, let's say it's a $20 tournament. When you cash it to the daily $20 tournament, you usually make like $1.50, and then every hop is usually like $1.50. And then when you get to the final table, like ninth is like, let's say $100, and then first is like $1,500 or something crazy like that, but it's massive. So in those
ACR.
scenarios, I will not care about ICM nearly as early. I still use my clock, but I don't care about, I'll take more flips than I normally would. Because stacking up is more valuable than.
Yeah,
Doesn't matter.
ACR is just like how you explained. The one I played last night, ninth place only got $50, but second place was 400.
It's gonna be that way a lot.
And
2K to 8, 100K for first. Yeah, so like, fuck. I mean, in that scenario, I might be more tight to be honest, to let because I think people, well, it's a 250K, right? So I was gonna say people are gonna punt, but I don't know how much punting is gonna happen in the 250. Because those guys are just good.
yeah, that's a different level right there.
Hey, Phil, I got a question.
Yeah.
I think I remember you saying like, I don't know, last fall at some point, you were gonna do like a whole shit ton of three-way spots. Just curious if you ever did that.
I said I was gonna, yeah, it was, I prefer not to, who's in the PokerCoaching Discord is a super solver nerd. And he figured out a way to run a bunch of flops in simple three-way that weren't like crazy time and resource intensive. And then he found a way to use simple three-way to agaports. And if you guys don't know, I'm an Excel guru. Like,
Who did that?
I prefer not to. It's
Oh,
spelled
okay.
funny. EYE's probably the same. EYE PFR NOT2 or something like that. Some crazy spelling. But he's a solver nerd and an Excel nerd. He would love some training on agriports. What kind of training are you looking for? Are you looking for how to create them?
No,
Or
no,
what
I was
to
just
do with them
curious.
once you get them? I was reading the chat. Yeah, sorry.
Oh.
What to do with them? What my template looks like? Because I made my own GTO wizard. Basically,
I was just curious if you had done a whole bunch. I thought maybe 1 week we
I
could,
hadn't touched them.
I thought maybe 1 week we could get into doing some three ways here if you had a shit ton. I actually thought you might have been the one that did it for the advanced masterclass.
I did.
Oh, okay.
So for the advanced masterclass, all of the sims for the advanced masterclass, heads up, single race pot, three waves, all those things. I ran all the sims.
Yeah.
And I have all of those sims, but I don't have hundreds of sims like I have. Like here I have.
Well, you can't do hundreds in one of our days anyway, but it'd be cool to do some three-way if you have it, and you want to share it. I know
The
it's
good
kind of
news
like,
is I don't mind sharing. I mind sharing this template because it took me months and months to create and it's proprietary and it's worth a good amount of money. But I don't mind sharing the data. I just mind sharing the work, right?
yeah.
So here, for example, this is my template for, I have both flop and turn aggregate reports. This is 609 boards for 30 bigs button versus BB. So I don't have anything like that for multi-way. You can disregard flop ID. That's something I created to make this more manageable. But you can see this thing, I plug in the boards. I plug in the bet frequencies off the ag report and all the EV stuff. You can see it's color coded by EV. Purple is EV, EQR, and the equity is green. bet frequency is orange, everything about the board is blue. When I plug in the boards, my spreadsheet will automatically do these crazy formulas to determine whether or not it's paired or not, or if it's a rainbow or two-tone. And then I can always sort, right? If I just want to see two-tone boards, here's all two-tone boards, right? I want to see highest check frequency on two-tone boards. Boom, I can see the low, whatever the scenario. This is button versus BB. So we check a lot on the low connected boards because BB has all this and we have none of it, right? Makes really sense.
I
How many
like how you,
straights possible?
I like how you did this connectivity too.
Oh, well, this shit
It's
gets
not
even crazier.
connected. It's like 3 straights available, 2 straights. available.
So I have these which show averages. So now I can filter by any, like, if I just want to see ace high boards. These are the ace high boards. This is the graph for ace high boards. See bet your ace high boards 100% instantly. There's no checking, right? If you want to see not ace but king high boards, these are all the king high boards. See bet them, a little more checking, right? And the graph auto changes, and it shows you these are all the different types. So that's for that. Right? Same thing for EV, same thing for equity. And then I have my dashboard, which is basically GTO Wizard. So this has all the graphs and the EV charts. And then I can select here if I want. This already has a filter. If I want
Wow, you
ace high
really-
boards,
You really built this out.
yeah. This is the ace high boards. If I want to see ace high boards where it's ace low, this is just ace 3x. Right, so it's kind of a weird one. But if I want to see ace high boards disconnected, receive betting. If I want to see ace high boards connected, receive betting. If I want to see ace high boards, receive betting. Right, I can filter that way. And then I can filter by any of these things, basically. Straights. If I want to see boards that have straights or no straights. Here's the boards with no straights. See bet a lot. They have one straight. See bet less. There's straights on the board. There's 2 straights. See bet less. There's lots of straights on the board. Right? Paired, not paired, two-tone, mono, all that shit. And I have it for the turn too, which is what most people don't have. So this is every single one of these boards ran against every single possible turn. This ends up being, I don't even know, 20.
So you use your ID is what built out all those, you use that to identify all those new.
Yeah,
drafts?
so I mean, this thing has evolved over years, so that's why it's so crazy. But yeah, basically when I plug in the flops, it'll do it for, there's a lot of hidden shit here. There's all these different hidden things that help me do all the magic. Basically it takes the cards, it makes a unique ID, and it's all based on, we're getting way into the nerdy weeds here, so if you guys want to drop, you can, but if you're interested in the nerdiness of it all, basically I figured out that there can only be a 2-card gap, basically, in all these scenarios, because you have 2 cards in your hands, right? And so based on that math, I did it based on the gap in the cards. So it doesn't really matter if it's a 8, 9, 10 board or a Jack, Queen, Queen board, right? Your gap is going to be the same, right? With the hands that make straights, with the hands that don't make straights, with the hands that have, you know, that kind of stuff. So I gave each one a unique ID was my solution. And
So
then
does that-
I have a index. There's the turn index where I just said this unique ID equals the straights.
So it auto populates the straight gaps.
So it
for you and
auto
all that.
does all of that for me. It
Wow.
auto does all the pairs. It auto does connected, disconnected. That way, all I gotta do is plug in the flops and all of this, because this is fucking 20-some thousand lines of code or data. Oh, fuck, hang on. This is here, 20, almost 30,000 lines. When you
Jeez.
run it against everyone, and to manually put in connected, disconnected, connected, disconnected, connected, disconnected for 30,000 lines could take me fucking 10 years. So I took 2 months to create this. I took 2 months to save myself 10 years, basically. And then I learned about, here's here's the same thing for the turn. Bet frequencies plus the graphs, averages, EQR, and then here's the turn dashboard, which is, let's scroll this way. So on the turn, there's so many more options on the turn than there were on the flop. Look at all the things I can sort by in comparison. All the different straight patterns,
Love it.
flop suits, turn suits, double pair, flush fill, mono, random, pair, not pair, straight. If I want to look at just I have ace separated from high and low because ace can be either. Right? But if I want to look on low boards. Boom, there's the graph on low boards. If I want to look on
I don't know.
low boards that are disconnected. There's the graph, right? I can filter out. I made my own GTO wizard. Because now I have GTO wizard basically with my sims instead of their whack ass 18 different bet sizes and all that.
Right.
And yeah, there you go. Oh, it's got the graphs too, in case you want to see it this way. This is the way sixes likes to look at things. So there you go. That's my this is my ag report. And I would argue that nobody's got an ag report. as sick as my I win the ag report.
No, other than Acevedo.
Hey, he's close. He's got a cute one.
Yeah, he uses the Power BI, which is really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I use all formulas, and these are called slicers. If you have, so basically, I could not send you this spreadsheet. This spreadsheet is worth a fuck ton of money. However, I can teach you how to make something like this. I can teach you how to make something simpler than this. I can teach you how to use the ag reports you get from PIO or GTO Plus or whatever you have to read them as they are. So I can definitely help you with some of this. I can't give you this. That is
No, I wouldn't.
This is
No
much.
way I'd give that to somebody.
it's too much.
Yeah, that's very valuable.
This is the kind of nerd I am. It was a weird thing where I've been in the corporate world for how old am I? Been in the corporate world for 25 some odd years. And making Excel sheets was part of my normal job. Not quite like this, but then over the years I've become an Excel guru.
I was gonna say I'm pretty good with computers, but this is a different level of Excel altogether right here, man.
It's one of those things, with enough beer, cursing, and YouTube, anything is possible.
Really interesting.
I mean, that's really what it was. I didn't know about these slicers and doing these graphs, and then I ended up doing this turn ag and saying, "Oh fuck, this is 30,000 lines of code. How the hell am I going to slice 30,000 lines of code?" So I googled how to deal with mass data in Excel, and I found out that there's a thing called slicers, and boom, there you go.
Wow.
And that's what it is. And again, with enough cursing in YouTube, make it happen. So anyways, that's mine. So I can't send you that, but I can help you. I can help you understand that. I can give you a different template that, like some of my older versions that don't have quite all the bells and whistles. I don't know. I might be willing to sell it, but I don't even know what I would put a price on it.
That's
So,
what I was gonna ask you. If you put a price on that, how much would it be?
I don't even know. Poker coaching.
Yeah,
has to
I'll
be-
send you a bottle of single malt scotch.
I can't drink.
Oh. What do you mean you can't drink?
I am allergic to alcohol.
Well, you were
Really?
you were just talking about being bombed out in Costa Rica.
Yeah, it
weren't you?
happened about 3-4 years ago.
All of a
Welcome to
sudden,
my
huh?
world, man.
Yeah.
I have.
My dad was the same way. Was fine, turned in his young 20s, went out to drinks with my mom, and it was one of those fancy restaurants that had like a little like koi pond in it. My dad ended up falling in the koi pond. One drink.
Holy shit.
Yeah, for me, it doesn't do that. I get like violently ill. Like, you know what's funny? Sixers came down for the World Series a couple years ago. We go out for beers, whatever, and I got sick. I have a stomach disease, so I get sick. I get
What
sick.
kind? What do you have?
I have ulcerative colitis. So,
Me too. I have that and
um,
pancreatitis.
oh, really? Yeah. So I have pretty severe colitis. So the last 2 days I was puking my guts up.
Yep.
From some
I do as
noozles.
well.
But the liquor, we had a drink and I got sick one day and I didn't think anything of it. Then the next year he came, I had 2 beers at the bar. We were walking from, I don't know how well you guys know Vegas, but I was walking from the Venetian to the Cosmo, which is like 3 casinos over, and I didn't make it. We're staying on the corner across the street. I was like, I gotta be up with you guys. And I bolted into the casino and then just violently ill.
Yeah.
man, it
So
sucks.
with my pancreatitis, my pancreas looked like a middle-aged alcoholic's whenever I was 12 years old.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, it's suddenly I turned 40 and things started breaking, and the colitis was one of those things. And I think it's related to the alcohol at the same time.
I was diagnosed with ulcerative colitis at age 9.
Oh, wow, super early.
Yeah, and same with pancreatitis. Normally, you see that in people that are 50 or older, I was
Hmm.
diagnosed at 4 years old with pancreatitis.
Oh, weird. so
Yeah, I've
good.
had several operations. I'm never allowed to drink alcohol. And people think I'm crazy, but weed helps more than anything.
Yeah, well, we're recording, so I'm not gonna go into that topic. So, yeah, so I have my vices kept, don't worry, we're good. So yeah, alcohol, yeah, you know what's weird is, also a funny story, which I'm not gonna go into too much detail, but I was at the poker coaching staff party. I don't remember if it was last year or the year before, I think it was the year before, and it was the first year I had been dry and in my life. And so I ended up, everyone was just shit-faced drunk at this thing. Jonathan's out of his mind. And
Oh, wow.
Acevedo was there. He was fucking shit-faced. Acevedo's a funny guy. Like, he's totally speaks perfect English, and he's got an accent or whatever. He speaks perfect English, but the more drunk he gets, like the harder it is to understand him, because he starts to slur one, and then he starts mixing Spanish in there naturally. So you're like,
Oh, shit.
So I ended up being the designated driver with Acevedo, JL, Sixes was there, Affleck was there, and then a few people you guys never heard of. And I ended up being the driver, and we had a hangover night where I was just chasing these fools all over Vegas while they were doing ridiculous shit. Like JL was this close to getting the face tattoo, that kind of crazy shit.
Oh,
Oh.
man. It does seem like he doesn't handle his booze well.
He's a funny guy, man. Like, he's so straight edge and stiff. He's stiff, right? For lack
Right.
of,
So when he does let
but
loose,
he
it's
don't give
crazy.
he don't give a fuck. Once he lets loose, he don't give a fuck.
I love that when he streamed live, he was getting drunk streaming his home game and he got smashed, breaking shit in his office. It was just, I was laughing.
Oh, dude, he was
my ass off.
shit-faced last year. Yeah, it was 2 years ago. So last year he was shit-faced, and he couldn't go out and party because he had to do some media or something the next day. And so he's like, "You guys should go to the strip club," out of nowhere. And he's like, "I can't go to the strip club, but you guys should go to the strip club." And then he just started handing out $20 bills to strangers who weren't even part of our group, telling them that they should go to the strip club. So yeah, jail's fun. Jail's fun when he lets loose. So yeah, he was handing out 20s, and then Brian, who's his like right hand, he's like the CEO. He's a right hand man. Handles a lot of the business stuff. His tagging behind him, going like this and collecting the 20s from everyone he handed.
I was about to say, he's grabbing them out of their
It was
hands.
funny.
Like, he didn't mean that. He didn't
Yeah.
mean that.
It was funny. It was really funny. So yeah, there you go. He lets loose. Okay. So that's it. Shit, that's it. That's all I got for you.
Thanks.
Happy fucking, what is it? Thursday. Go out and crush. If you have any
Happy-
questions, let me know. I'll have this recording up very shortly. And I hope it was a good time. I hope you learned a lot. I hope I was at least as fun as Sixes. And there you go. Oh, next week, very important. I'm pretty sure I can't do next week. I'm gonna be out of town. Joey may or may not step in. We're still figuring out if he can do it with the schedule.
Yeah, I can
Schedule.
do it unless something comes up.
Okay, so we'll plan on Joey. I'll give him my Zoom info so he can use that. And Joey's gonna lead this one next week. And then I don't remember if Sixes is back to follow me, but if he's not, you'll have me, no problem. And then same with the study stream. Study stream is gonna be Saturday, just me. And then the following week, study stream is gonna be canceled because we're not having it covered. So just a weird time. I have to go to a memorial service, so can't be avoided. That's
Real
it.
quick before we log off, if anybody has ideas on what they want to work on next week, send them to me in Discord.
There you go.
I could set up.
All right.
Cool. Peace.
Later,
I'm out.
guys.
Late.
Goodbye, boys.
Yeah.